Hey there, my friends. Today, we're going to talk about things that you should consider having written as part of your business policies so that when people hire you, they know what some of your policies and procedures are around them hiring you for your services. And I'm going to make that really clear for you in today's video. Hey, my friends, this is Kelly Schaefer, the creator of the Concierge Academy, where I help local businesses market more successfully, make more money, get more clients, and have a greater impact in their local community. And it's something I love doing. Okay, so today we want to talk about business policies. So before we talk about business policies, I am going to share with you how business policies typically come about when you're building a business. For example, have you ever saw a warning label on a cleaning product that says, do not eat it, do not ingest it, right? That's because somebody at some point ingested it and ate it, which means the company and the manufacturer ends up having to put a warning label on all of their cleaning products, right? The same thing happened with me in my business. And when I first started my business, I kind of opened my doors, hung up my shingle, was like, I'll do anything for everybody as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, because that was the big catchphrase that we were using back in 2010. And I found myself running ragged. And there were a lot of things that popped up. There were problems that bubbled up as I was building my business that I was like, oh, this is why people have contracts. This is why people have business policies. This is why when you sign a new service, they have a 3-page list of policies that you have to adhere to. And so I want to share with you 6 of the business policies that I have on my contracts and that I teach my students to make sure that they have listed in their contracts as well, that you will have your clients sign off. Now, in the very beginning of my business, did I have any of this? No, I did not. But as I started to grow, as I started to bring on more clients, I started adding these things into my policies and in my contracts that every client that I brought in, whether it was a one-time client, a membership client, a package client, they all got a copy of our business policies so that they understood what the rules were about how I work and how I don't work. And so I want to give these to you so that you can ask yourself, how would you answer these questions so that you can add them into your business policies and then wait till the end because I have an amazing resource that you're not going to want to miss. So 6 things that you're going to want to consider. Number 1, what are your normal business hours? Are your normal business hours 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 8, 24 hours a day? You want to have that defined because if you don't have it defined and a client says to you, can you do X, Y, Z, and they call you at 8 o'clock at night, you are not letting them know ahead of time when your normal business hours are. I know it seems so simple, but it's really important because it's your job to teach your clients how to teach or how to treat you. Okay. So for example, in my coaching that I do, I have a policy and a rule like never send me a PM, never send me a DM. And the reason is, number 1, I always lose them. Number 2, I will always forget to follow up on them. And 3, it's not my preferred way to communicate with my students. They have access to me in set ways where they can ask me questions. DMing me and PMing me is not the way to reach out to me. So in any business, you'll have these policies. Okay. So the first one that I gave you was your normal business hours. The second one, now, once you have your normal business hours, are you going to do services after hours? And if you do, are there going to be an additional fees attached to that? That's why you need to know what your normal business hours are first. The third thing is weekend fees. So for example, let's say your normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but somebody asks you to do something on the weekend and you are going to say yes to that. Will you have additional weekend fees? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. You 100% get to decide. The importance of this exercise is, though, my friends, is for you to make these decisions ahead of time so that when they pop up for you, you already know your own answer. Okay. So for example, I have a member right now who's in our fully booked business club. She works basically a full-time job Monday through Friday. And so she's just getting her business started. And so she's going to be helping clients on the weekend. And because her normal business hours for her business are going to be on the weekend, she will not be charging additional rates or additional fees because it's weekend work, because that is what she is willing to do in these beginning stages and phase of her business while she is getting her first few clients. The next thing you're going to ask yourself is mileage fees. Mileage fees are a big thing in the industry. Some people use them, some people don't. The standard is going 10 miles outside of your radius. I have another video about that. And also just recently this year, July 1st of 2022, the IRS has actually increased the allowable mileage fee that you can actually claim on your taxes as well. So when you are working for clients, if they were to ask you to drive 30 miles away to go to this one store that has the one thing that they need you to pick up, are you going to be charging additional mileage? Yes or no? These are the things that you're going to want to ask yourself ahead of time, even before you get those first clients, because otherwise what happens is you'll end up undercharging, or you'll be at a deer in headlights when that potential client says, well, how do you charge? And you're like, I haven't really thought about it yet. The other thing that you want to have in your policies is your rate and what's included in that rate. Okay, so your entire rate. So let's say you're charging $35 an hour and you have a 2-hour minimum. You have to have that clearly stated in your policies and in your contract, $35 an hour, 2-hour minimum, right? Otherwise, people will, let's say somebody calls, hires you, the job actually took an hour and a half, and you charge them the full $70, but they're like, oh, wait a minute, it only took you an hour and a half, but you charged me for 2 hours. Aha, because you had that minimum in your policies. And of course, these are all things that you'll discuss with your clients when they sign a contract with you to do services with you. And then the final thing that you want to consider having as part of your policies is a cancellation policy. This is really more important when you are selling like blocks of time, or you're scheduled to do organizing services. So if you're a professional organizer or any other business that does like a large block of time. So let's say you're supposed to go to a client's house on Friday, and you were scheduled to work from 10 to 2 on Friday. You're going to go organize the garage, and they call and cancel you Friday at 9 a.m., but you had that entire 4-hour day blocked off for them. What is your cancellation policy going to be? Do you have a 24-hour, a 48-hour, a 72-hour? You totally get to be in charge of making those decisions. You get to decide, but just know what they are ahead of time, because if somebody cancels on you, one, they need to know what your policy is ahead of time, because if they cancel at the last minute, but you did not tell them that there was a cancellation fee, and they cancel at the last minute, you really don't have a right to charge them without them knowing in advance. And what happens is, if you don't charge a fee for a last minute cancellation, and then you start feeling all scrunchy about it because you blocked off an entire day on Friday to help this client, and yet they canceled at the last minute. Now, of course, cancellations sometimes happen for extenuating circumstances, a sickness and illness. And we always have to consider those things as well when you're running a business. But overall, you want to still be thinking about your cancellation policy. So those 6 things, my friends, I want you to ask yourself those questions, answer those things for yourself, and make sure they are part of your business policies. And as promised, I have a resource for you. If you've been following me for a while, some of you have, some of you are new to me, but I sell a contract bundle. It is a concierge contract bundle. It has business policies, it has contracts, it has key release forms, credit card authorization forms, and all the other legal house items that you want to have in place when you start your business. Of course, you will get access to all these documents with additional training so that you know how to use them all. And you always need to do your due diligence and just run them through your own state and have your own lawyer look at them. But it saves you hours and hours of time and thousands of dollars starting from scratch. I'm going to put a link to that resource below this video. And of course, my friends, if this video was helpful, please hit up that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on our next video. Bye for now.